Hello again, everybody. This is Inconsistent, and I will be doing another replay of myself playing against the Zerg here on Xel'Naga Watch Caverns, as you can see. This map was a little bit different for me. It was not quite the normal ladder game that I would face. It wasn't a great macro game, nor a great pressure-filled game for me, but I was against a very pressure-filled game against this Zerg, as you're going to see here in a little bit. This is one of my favorite maps for a lot of reasons, because there are a lot of small passageways here of which you can pick and choose your battles and just try to get as much of an advantage as possible while you're going through the game. This third isn't always your prototypical third either. You can choose to expand, down here or over here if you're on the bottom of the map. This helps out a lot, especially Zergs doing this, because you're just going up and attacking, and especially if they are going to expand here, you can easily defend your main if you're having, a lot of your units throughout the middle of the map here. So he decides to 9-pull me. I've seen this a little bit more on the ladder recently, and I didn't quite know how to deal with this the first time. This was, I believe, my first time when I hit this, so this was just a learning experience game for me. And I want to go through a little bit of the thought process of me when you're doing this and you're just trying to figure out what to do against a build you don't normally see or may not even ever have seen before. I decide to 13 gate on this map, and I wanted an economy build, but this 9-pull is just extremely effective against me, as you can see, since I'm just putting my gate down and his pool is nearly finished. I have my drone in here. I need to harass as much as possible, being his minerals are going to be at a premium for him. This build looks like it's pretty set out for him, and he's probably done this a few times, and he's got his Overlord timings down pretty well. He's got the number of Zerglings he's making pretty good and timed out. These 6 coming up are going to be very devastating against me. I wasn't completely sure what to do at the time, but I decided that if I just didn't do anything, that would be the worst possible thing to do. So we end up dropping another gate here. I need to form a wall in because these Zerglings are going to make it before I can have my first Zealot even be close to coming out. I should have made this pylon first because this gateway was in no real danger of dying. You can only have a couple of Zerglings attack there first. That was a couple of mistakes made by me there, and this, coupled with being just supply block, that was just devastating to me here, and I took a lot more damage than I really needed to. If I would have not had the disaster behold me here that you're going to see real soon, I would have been in an amazing position, and the game wouldn't have drawn out to nearly as long as it did, and I would have been able to end it much sooner just because of the bad position the Zerg is in right now, economy-wise, and he just couldn't really come back from it if I was able to defend this a lot sooner and had that first Zealot come out and not bug out and come around the side there. As you can see, if it would have popped out the top, I would have easily been able to defend, because I would have been able to stick that Zealot right in there and just attack a couple Zerglings at a time, and he would have killed most of these off before dying, and then the Zerg might have thought about doing something else. Luckily for me, he doesn't decide to Baneling bust. It would have been pretty difficult for him to at the time, just because I'm starting to wall in with buildings that have a lot of HP, and it would just take so many Banelings to kill those, so it would be very cost efficient. He doesn't want to kill this gateway yet, but I do. I'm going to stop him from attacking everything I have, so I just do that. He's forced to back up because I have 3 Zealots out now. I can easily defend whatever he's wanting to do here. And he's just continuing to make drones. He knows that he's not going to be able to break that right now, and he can't sit himself into so bad of a hole that he's not going to be able to come back. He probably should have made more drones here, then he would have been in really excellent position throughout the game, and probably would have been a lot tougher for me to win. I decide, this is a normal game now. He pressured me some, it didn't work, so let's just do all the normal things that, you win a lot of games doing. So we just got, Cybercore down, we're getting Warp Gate Tech. I only have 1 Geyser right now because I lost so many minerals worth in putting down, that gateway and losing a couple pylons. I just needed the extra minerals right now, and they would help as much as possible just to getting me back on track to feeling like this was a good normal game. I was pretty nervous there when he was trying to bust down that gateway and wasn't quite sure what to do, but I don't think I overreacted too much. I think I could have held that off a lot easier if I just would have made the pylon first. That was the biggest mistake coming out. He has the correct follow-up here with roaches. Banelings wouldn't have been quite as effective if I would have stayed, in my base here and just masked up a little bit and then went out, maybe to 45, 50 food. We'd have been in a very good position. But the roaches are going to provide some range for him, and they do great against Warp Gate Tech. They do a lot of damage against the Zealots, which I'm making to counter these Zerglings that he's got. He's got this spotter Zergling out here that's awesome and great. You want to do that if you're always a Zerg. You want to see if they're ever going to expand or just moving out and anything like that. He's throwing up his first expansion right now. I don't know that yet, and I don't know he is going to lair tech right now either. We will scout him in due time here, but I decide it's time to pressure. I have been not necessarily behind, but my economy's been stronger, so I just need to force him to make units right now. That's all I want. He, tries to push through here. That was just a touch too wide there, and a lot of those make it past, so I have to bring my army back. I want to be sure that I just don't lose the game right here to something stupid, and I want to crush this attack overwhelmingly and then go see what he is doing at his base and see if he's going to be able to stop all the units I have, because I lost a few units there, but he lost virtually all of his. He's just got a couple of roaches making now, but not a lot. He has to make spawn crawlers to defense. He doesn't really have another option right now, as he doesn't have a lot of larvae or money to spend on the larvae because he just put down those spine crawlers. He's just making more and more units for the impending attack that's coming. He knows that he's going to have some issues defending here. I thought I was going to be able to end the game here. I didn't know he had this expansion up already. I assumed there would probably be spine crawlers, but these were pretty well positioned right here if he's going to come up and attack. I'm just kind of scouting around here. If I just would have pushed in right there, I might have been able to end it. That's debatable without these other roaches coming out and coming down. If I just would have force fielded the ramp right away and went and killed these spine crawlers, I think I could have won. It would have been very, very close. But that doesn't happen. I decide to push in here, do some damage, kill some of these spine crawlers off, and see just what's going to come out of this. But he's just got just enough defense here, and that's all you need when you're defending. You don't need too much, then you're going to start being behind army-wise if you ever decide to attack. You need just enough to make sure that you're going to live, and that you're just, going to get by the skin of your teeth on that. So, I know I'm probably going to be behind here soon. I need to change tech and or put down an expansion and then pressure him or just draw the game out. What I decide to do here in a little bit is drop an expansion and just try to take the game a little bit longer and then just see what happens. I know he's making mass roaches. I'll eventually make a robo, but I did make it quite soon enough. I thought I could still probably break him, being he's making a lot of roaches. I just made a ton of stalkers and went out. This overlord needs to be kept track of. Needs to be a little bit more in the middle there so that you're just not going to lose it. That was pretty bad for him, being as it sent him deep into the red, and he just can't make any more units right now for an attack that's coming that's going to be extremely potent against him. Once again, we'd just be attacking in favorable position for me. I want to draw him into here and then cut him off with force fields, but I forgot to make more sentries than what I got right now. I just didn't have quite enough minerals nor warp gates up to just make any more at the time, because I needed stalkers, a little bit of a mini unit to miscontrol here, and those just kind of control around that way. If I would have had one more sentry right there, I would have been extremely good. Cutting that in half and killing a bunch of those roaches would have been in an excellent position, but that unfortunately just didn't happen. So I got my natural coming down. I'm just forcing him to make units right now, which is what I want. I keep making probes, and I keep getting ahead economy-wise, and I just keep forcing him to make units. Eventually I'm going to have to fight these units, but we have time right now, and he's not really probably going to push out too soon yet. He just keeps sending some hitman squads around here with these speed zerglings and just trying to do as much damage as he possibly can. With the game pushing on like this, if he would have tech past roaches, I don't know how well it would have handled it. It would have been very tough, but I pull him into a great spot for me to fight, cut some of those roaches off, and just start going to town on him. I have a ton of stalkers. If I just would have made the zealots come around here or something, just so they were even doing damage, I would have been excellent in this position here. I would have done extremely well, but instead we have some roaches flanking me over here. Just don't want that to happen, ever. It just does a lot more damage than I thought it was going to here. He has a lot of roaches in the red, but I decide I need to pull back. If he has more reinforcements coming, he's going to be closer than my reinforcements are, and we just need to not lose the game right now and not lose too much of my army. He's still making just mass units right now. I didn't see those quite yet, but he's forced to back up since my army's just so close. There's not really a lot he's going to be able to do this expansion at this time. And as we can see, you just keep making probes and you're going to be fine. Keep pressuring, keep forcing him to make units, and you'll end out ahead against a pressure build like that. He needed to do a ton of damage to me when he had those circlings up early in my base from the 9 pull. He just didn't do quite enough. He didn't do anything to my economy, so then we were doing alright. I decided to go ahead and start getting immortals because he's just massing up roaches, almost like this is the beta right now. If he would have tech past that, I would have been in pretty deep trouble. But he didn't. I believe he probably thought he was going to win the game. I go ahead and get an observer because Burrow's, going to be a problem if he is doing that with all these roaches. This one immortal I got will prove to just do tons and tons of damage. It's going to be hard for him to deal with what I've got going here. And he's just going to burrow and unburrow. But he probably doesn't micro these quite well enough. And he's just losing tons and tons of damage. When the observer comes out, he's forced to just leave because he's just losing far too many roaches. If he stays, I will lose just a couple more zealots, and he will just lose all of his forces here, and pretty much it would be game over at that point. He drops another macro hatch here. I don't necessarily agree with whether it should be there. He definitely needs more drones. He's pretty much all in at this point with the economy going the way it is for him. I'm in a pretty good position, army-wise and economy-wise. I just keep making immortals. I know he's not really going to take off that yet. I've been frowning upon making blocks off of 2 base, and I'm just continuing to get a lot of warp gate units and getting a lot of units that are poking against whatever my enemy is making. Since he's making roaches here, we're just making immortals. As you can see, he's got 10 kills already. They just do great damage against roaches, and a couple of them will just help bring the fights right into your favor, and you're going to easily be able to just crush your opponent when coming across there. Still, he's just neglecting to make drones, and at this point, every time he attacks, I'm overwhelmingly winning. I'm losing just a couple of units, but I'm killing a lot of his. I'm feeling pretty confident at this point that I'm going to win the game. But I don't know if he has a third up, so we're going to start poking out and see what he's got, just milling around, see what's going on. He leaves some of these, roaches just rallied up here. It was a mistake on his part. You definitely need to keep an eye on that anytime you're doing that. I'm waiting for a second immortal to come out so that I can just continue to push, or a third immortal rather, sorry. And with these roaches he's making, these are just going to do absolutely massive amount of damage. He's not making a lot of zerglings, so I don't need to worry too much about making zealots, being as immortals can take all the damage from those roaches. The zealot usefulness goes down a little bit since I just haven't seen a lot of zerglings. He's just massing just complete roaches. As you can see, the play here, not so great. I would say we were pretty evenly matched again in this game, but if he just would have went more economy based, he might be able to win this game. I mean, it was pretty close for a while, but with the economy the way it's been in for a while now, he's pretty far behind, and there's not a lot he's going to be able to do about that at this time. He's already starting to have to transfer because he's just mined out his main. He never transferred him soon enough. We still got money here, so we've got a better economy still just coming along. And pretty much for him, it's just about do or die time now. Not a lot he can do to stop this. He wants to fight. He should have engaged me up here, but he didn't, so I just go ahead. I force field off. I'm going to come around the side. Moves back wisely. I just pick off whatever units I can, but I've got a ton of sentries, and they've got a lot of energy. So we're going to be able to do miracles with these, and unlike earlier when I just didn't have enough of them out, you'll see here when I do have enough sentries that we're able to just fight in a position that's real great for me. I pull him up into here right where I want him, cut it in half, and then you're doing awesome. There's not a lot he can do. I'm killing off all these. I'm not hardly losing anything, and the food will just tell the story here as it just starts to overwhelmingly be in my favor, and as I just start to skyrocket up and just kill everything he has right now. A lot of that food's kind of inflated for him because it is roaches and they are 2 food now. It is a lot harder for him to get the proper amount of food up army-wise. Sends another little hitman squad around here, but at this point in time, without these defending in his base, it's pretty much game over. I probably should have just moved out just so everything was attacking. He didn't have that much here, and I would be easily just overcoming 4 wolves now against roaches. Those are just like crushing. Not a lot he's going to be able to do. I warp in some zealots here in town, and we just go ahead and kill off what's left here. I do lose all my probes, but at this point in time, I have so many units in his natural expansion here that the game is over. He can't stop this now. He can't make enough units at one time to be able to kill me, and I just kill everything without hardly losing anything. As you can see here in a minute, he's not going to be happy with what has happened. I was extremely happy with how this game went. I thought I was going to lose it on the initial 9-pool, but just keep fighting in places that are good for you. Try not to go into where your opponent wants you to fight all the time, and you'll just be able to take games, left and right. Just keep making good decisions. Don't get overzealous when you're facing a bad situation. Just try, keep a cool head, and just think of what he can do and what he can make, and you're going to come out on top. Thanks again for watching, guys. If any of you would like a replay shoutcasted by me, or if you would like, just any tips or anything, be sure to post the replay back on my blog, or a link to it, or PM me on my YouTube channel or anything like that. Thanks for watching, guys.